On today's episode of Bucs Breakdown, we're going to be taking a look at your hot takes for the Buccaneers heading into the 2026 NFL season. My name is Reid Bartkus. You're watching Bucs Breakdown, presented by Prize Picks. Wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching, hope you're having a great day today. And I love today's show because it is all about what you guys have to say. That is my favorite part about this channel is if you guys are watching right now and you're new, you can get on a show if you wanted to. Because if you're subscribed and you commented on my last video and on the community post that we had posted, you get featured on the show. So there's a bunch of people on today's show, and I'm taking a look at what they have to say because this is not chat read or anything like that. It is chat sports. It's all about you guys. So let's take a look at all of your hot takes. But before I do that, we got a little NFC South July sub battle. The Saints are in the lead right now with 86 new subscribers in July. We are here in third with 46. Now, we're beating the Falcons, who are way behind in July, but the Panthers are at 71, so that's our closest opponent right now. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It is free, fun, daily Bucs content from a Bucs fan for Bucs fans all off season long and during the season too. So don't miss a thing. Just a fun place to watch some free Buccaneers videos. And let's go beat the guys in the NFC South. All right, starting off with our first question. Rueben Bain will win the Defensive Rookie of the Year from Happy Buck 2026. Hopefully, I am Happy Buck fan in 2026. But Rueben Bain will win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I said hot takes, guys. Not takes we already know are going to happen. But if you guys have not already gotten your Bucs Breakdown shirt, your Tampa Bay shirt, our guy Arnold here at Chat Sports did a fantastic job with this design. It is only $29.99 for fantastic Bucs offseason gear. Not even offseason, for the season as well. Comes in white, or doesn't come in white. Comes in black and red. Chatsports.com/Bain. You can't get it anywhere else except for here. Not eBay, not Amazon, anything like that. Only right here, chatsports.com/Bain. So if you want some fun merchandise, sorry, I can't think right now. Fun merchandise for the season, make sure to hit up chatsports.com/Bain. So my hot take is not only is he going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, which I agree with Happy Bucs fan 2026, I think he's going to be the best defensive player from the 2026 NFL Draft. David Bailey, yes, he goes before him in the draft. Guys like Caleb Downs, Keldrick Folk, even his teammate Akeem Mesidor, I think he's going to have 6+ sacks in 2026, and he's going to be, we're going to look back at the 2026 draft and be like, how the hell did he fall to number 15? All right, moving on to John Grable. Shout out to you. Thank you for your comment, which is we hire John Gruden. That is a hot take for sure. Now, I don't know if John Gruden's going to come back to coaching because he looks very happy with what he's doing right now, but a little refresher of what happened with John Gruden as the former head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He won the Bucs' first Super Bowl in 2022. 2022, oh my goodness. 2002, going 12-4 and beating the Oakland Raiders in that Super Bowl, his old team. He compiled a regular season record of 57-55 with the Bucs, which when you win a Super Bowl and then you end that career like that, it's a little unfortunate, especially the last season that he was coaching. He was fired after the 2028 season after a disappointing end to the season after starting 9-3. So we all know everything that has happened with the Oakland Raiders and why he's out of coaching now. I think that's not necessarily the reason why he's out, but I think he's very happy with what he is doing right now. But I think it would be kind of fun to bring back an old face. And I kind of have a feeling that Todd Bowles is in that same predicament. Start really, really hot in the beginning of the season, and then you trail off. I think Todd Bowles would have gotten fired last year. I think they're just giving him one more shot. Now, we'll get to Todd Bowles in one of these questions. But before I do that, I want to give a huge shout-out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys are trying to look to win some money while watching sports, Prize Picks is the place to do it. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app, as well as mine since 2022. The World Cup is coming to a close, so don't miss out on the deal that we have going on right now. Prize Picks is a great way to watch sports and win some money at the same time. Now, it is super simple to use. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. With the new social feeds feature, you can actually follow me on the app at Reid Bartkus to check out my profile and the lineups I submit. Now, I have submitted this one already. Now, the numbers may have changed. The projections may have changed on here, so don't come at me. But Baker Mayfield, I have him on the more on his passing yards, and Emeka Egbuka the more on his receiving yards. And then Bijan Robinson, I have him on the less for receiving yards. So if you want to take a peek at what I got on the social feeds feature, that is going to be up there. You guys can see that. You can tail it. You can fade it. Just do it over on Prize Picks. They have a new user offer. Download the Prize Picks app today with the link in the comments and description. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Don't forget, that's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. So talking about Todd Bowles, Dave Morgan said Todd Bowles gets fired. I know when I asked this question before, I said, give me hot takes. This feels like a lukewarm take, right? At the end of last season, I feel like a lot of us fans were like, all right, you had a terrible end to the season, sort of like John Gruden had at the end of his tenure when you were he was 9-3, Todd Bowles 5-1, and then you trail off. And that is not exactly what we're looking for in a head coach. And they give him one more shot at the end of the last season. I think a lot of us were like, what are you doing? Get him out of here. He's done, right? But one more shot, you bring in Zach Robinson and everything like that. But as we can see, once he became the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you make the playoffs but lose to the Cowboys in the wild card division. 2023, you go 9-8 and then lose to the Lions in the divisional round. And then 2024, one of the better years, 10-7, you lose to Washington in the wild card as well. And then you lose the NFC South last year, letting the Panthers just fall backwards into winning the division. And you go 8-9 after starting 5-1. So, I don't know. Prize Picks question of the day. Will Todd Bowles get fired after the 2026 season? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Let me know down in the comment section. Obviously, click the link to download the Prize Picks app as well while you answer this question. But I think this is a fair question, right? Because it was asked last year, too. Will he get fired? Or not last year, but at the end of last season. I think this is fair to say. I'm typing yes. I think when it comes to what he has to do to not get fired, it's go further than he's gone in the playoffs rather than what he's done in the past. So let me know down in the comment section. The real boy is up next. Baker Mayfield wins his MVP. I've been waiting for this question because I think this is not, I would say maybe realistic, but something that we really have to consider because I don't know if you guys saw the recent news that has actually come out about Baker Mayfield. Rick Stroud, shout out to him. Bucs QB Baker Mayfield on the Netflix series Quarterback. If you guys aren't watching yet, take a peek. It's actually awesome. Reveals he played with a sprained MCL and PCL since week 2. He also had a bad bicep contusion that was bruised and affected his velocity. Then the left shoulder injury versus the Rams, bonus for toughness, but affected his play. A healthy Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback. I think a lot of people can agree with that. What he did in 2024 was very, very good and is top 10 worthy. But you have to put into account he does get injured. He is a little inconsistent in that sense, and you can't really rely on him like that. But if he is healthy and he stays healthy, he can get back to that 2024 season. He can play a full season and be healthy. Baker's a tough guy. We know he's a tough guy. But knowing that he played with all those injuries, it kind of explains what happened towards the end of the season. Lost his confidence because he was hurt. A lot of stuff happened with the wide receivers, the offensive line, just injuries, including himself. So I think if we get back on track, Baker Mayfield is in that top 10 QB ranking range, I believe. Zachary Deem, you're up next. Hot take. Tykee will be on a lot of people's top 5 safeties list by the end of the season. I thought he was the best player on our defense last season, including Winfield, and it was his first year starting at safety. I'm excited to see if he has another big leap in store. Honestly, the top 5 safeties aspect of it, I totally agree. But taking a look at our secondary depth chart, I like looking at it as a whole because just the safeties, it's not as impressive. But looking at it as a whole, Tykee Smith, obviously their strong safety next to Antoine Winfield. But I feel like Tykee, the why he's so good is because he can play everywhere. I feel like his versatility is very important on this defense. And he had a great 2025 season, honestly. 60th. I have tackles there by accident. I have TFLs, the same thing. That is my fault. But 6 TFLs, 13 PBUs, and 1 interception. Um, the guy was very, very good. And funny enough that I don't have his tackles on here. But that is totally 100% my fault. 13 PBUs is fantastic as a strong safety. He can come up in the box. He's a great run stopper. I mean, he can play all over the field, and especially with this improved pass rush. Because when you say that he was one of the better players on defense, I agree with Antoine Winfield, but I'll give you Yaya Diaby. He led the team in sacks, and when the pass rush is better, the secondary improves as well. Now, it's not like if one's bad, the other one's bad as well, because I mean we've seen teams that have a great secondary but bad pass rush. It's just it helps out a lot with both of them. Uh, the less time that the quarterback has, the more mistakes he's going to make, and the more plays that the secondary can make. So I think Tykee Smith is going to have a great 2026 season, and I think if we come back to that question and say top 5 safeties, I think Tykee Smith can sneak into that top 5 for sure. Last question on today's show, James Tolson. Shout out to James. He comments a paragraph on every single video that we put out, and it is just, I love seeing what James has to say, because usually what he has to say is very, very informative, and I love to see it. So, hot take defensively. They finished top 12 and carry the team early in the season. Now, I actually really like this take because I think the defense last year got better towards the middle of the season and then kind of trailed off a little bit. It was very inconsistent, I feel like. But we've made a lot of different additions to this defense, including Rueben Bain Jr., who is a huge, huge part of that pass rush now. Josiah Trotter, who's going to be a great addition to this linebacker room. Keontae Scott, the versatility in the secondary. You can kind of put him wherever he plays with his head on fire. I love that. Devontae Capehart bolstering that defensive line, being just a big guy down there with Vita Vea and Kalijah Cansey. Shout out to my producer, Chip. He is from Clemson. But he did say he's got some work to do. So we'll make sure that our coaches get to him. But talking about free agency now, Alex Anzalone. When you lose a guy like Levante David, that it's a big hole in that defense, right? And it's a big hole in the fan base as well. But Alex Anzalone is a great replacement for him. Obviously, can't replace what Levante David did to this team and just the culture in general. But in terms of on-field production, Alex Anzalone's great coverage linebacker and still has a lot left in him. Same thing with Al-Qadim Muhammad, had 11 sacks last year with the Detroit Lions. Is a great veteran leader on that pass rush as well. He's going to be great depth. And then A'Shawn Robinson, like I said before, Devontae Capehart bolstering that defensive line, because towards the end of the season, our run defense was absolutely terrible. You could run a Mack truck through any of our defensive line. And with Vita Vea, the contract sort of up in the air, getting a veteran guy like A'Shawn Robinson who has that energy, like Nacho, who we also bring back as well, he's a huge, huge veteran leader in the locker room, on the line, and just energy is what this defense needed last year, and it's what it lacked. And I think that's what it has this year. So also, on top of that, with Zach Robinson taking care of the offense, Todd Bowles can focus more on the defense rather than both sides of the ball. Now, I think everyone can agree Todd Bowles as the head coach is not very good, but Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator, Super Bowl winner. So I think him focusing on the defense, and he kind of had to focus a little bit on the offense last year with Josh Grizzard not being as experienced. Now, he didn't do terrible, but there's a reason he's not here now. And there was a reason Zach Robinson, who has 2 years as an OC under his belt, he's going to take care of the offense. He's going to say, hey, Todd, I got this. You focus on the defense. And then Todd Bowles can focus a little bit more on the head coach aspect of being in the game as a head coach. You know, those on-field stuff like the momentum and making decisions on the field. So I think with a lot of that and a lot of help from Zach Robinson and just the additions that we made in this entire team, honestly, is going to help the defense. And I think James is correct in terms of the defense really helping out and move along during the season. Thank you so much for everyone asking these questions. And I'll ask you a question right now. The Buccaneers will have the blank best defense in 2026. Comment your answer down below. I want to know what you guys have to say. I love hearing what you guys have to say down in the comment section. I read every comment. So if it's not interacted with, but I am reading them. So comment what you have to say. I'll say by the end of the 2026 season, we will have there's a lot of good defenses out there, but I think we'll have the 14th best defense in the NFL. Reminder, we are in a July sub-battle race with our foes of the NFC South here in the walls of Chat Sports. Saints now in first. Let's see if we can chip away at that lead. We still got a lot of time left in July, but if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button for free, fun Bucs content all off season long. And as always, fire the cannon.